when I was driving home, I cried. And I cried for several reasons. One is I cried because I knew that some of the people I was working with weren't going to sit down with their family later that night, and that's where I was going to. The other reason I cried is because I was going to pick people up to bring them to Thanksgiving dinner. I saw the way they lived. And this is what I saw. I didn't see somebody who was being lazy or needed to pick themselves up by their bootstraps or tried harder. What I saw was hopelessness. Or somebody may have a little bit of hope and feeling so overwhelmed that I was seeing helplessness. And I thought, I don't think there's anybody who walks the face of this earth that decides to live that way. You know, with nothing on the walls, you know, with things a mess or cluttered or empty. And I just thought, where people are living, they have the roof over their head, but it's not their home. It doesn't reflect who they are. You know, and I would leave that situation and walk into having time with my family, and, you know, the space I was in felt like home, and it felt comfortable, and it had things there that meant something to me. And so basically, ashamedly maybe, for 16 years this has been bothering me. And every year, Kim now calms me down, but back when Cindy was with us, she would have to say to me every year, Remi, it has to be what it is right now. One day we'll do something about it, because I used to come out of the apartments going, I just can't believe it. I would want to go and spend all my weekends helping people clean their places and scrub their walls. And she had to tell me, you can only do what you can do. And that kept me probably from having high blood pressure, but it never took care of what I felt in my heart. And that was, this isn't okay. It never should have been. It never will be. And I got to do something about it. So, in May, I was working on the Mayor's mental health planning, and Richard introduced me to Lois. And Lois told me how she had worked with her brother and really refreshed and revitalized where he lived and what that looked like and what that transformation meant to you, Jim. And putting that together with where I had come from, it made perfect sense. And I thought to myself, I just can't ignore this anymore. Okay? And I knew Lois for 3 days. We had a couple days to put a grant out. And we landed the grant, which has allowed us to work very, very hard for the past 2.5 months. And that leads us to where we are today. You know, we did get a small mental health transformation grant that really paid for the planning piece. The money that came out of SAMHSA, which is federally funded, got fed through the Department of Mental Health and Addiction Services to the Mental Health Association. And Lois, who runs ECRA in Pennsylvania and does consulting, was a perfect mix, because she knew what it was going to take, and she'd also done the consulting piece. So we've been working, I would say, rather hand in hand lately. You know, I've done a lot of the heats and a lot of the groundwork and a lot of the planning, and, you know, watching people just come together, becoming friends, sharing a laugh. You know, I remember we were doing Austin's place, and he got a big splat of yellow paint on his head, and he didn't see it. Just sharing a laugh, some beautiful color, and experiencing the joy of a job well done has propelled us to move forward. There's days we're up, there's days we're down. It's part of the process. It's what you have to go through. And thank you guys for being here today. I know how busy everybody is and how many other kind of competing agendas we have at any given time doing the work we do.
I'm glad you're in the field.
Thank you, Vicki. But really, again, you know, my heartfelt thanks for being here today and giving us your time. And I love the fact that we have these minds in the room. It's very exciting. Thank you, though. Thank you.